Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about how to start programming. No coding today is going to be more of a chill video, but let's get right into it. In my opinion, the only prerequisite you have to start learning how to program is you have to have the ability to like sit in front of a desk for 4, 5, 6 hours, whatever it is, for a long time without hating your life. And if you can do that, you're already on the right track. Like you've placed yourself in a good position to actually be able to learn how to code. The next thing I wanted to address is that do you have to have an education? Do you have to go to school? In my opinion, no, you don't. There's a lot of resources online that you can go. There's YouTube, there's Udemy, there's so many things you could do to learn how to program that you don't really have to go to college, university to learn how to code. The thing about college and university is, though, they will teach you a lot of the fundamentals that'll help you think like a developer. That being said, a lot of the things you learn, you will never apply in the real world. They'll teach you things with like binary trees and hash tables and all this garbage that when you start working as a software developer or you want to make your own app or website, you will never use this stuff. So you're trading in some knowledge, but is the cost to reward ratio of going to school that worth it? In my opinion, no, it's not. That being said, I went to school for computer science, so who knows? I could be completely wrong. Now, what language should I learn? The good thing about what language you want to learn is it doesn't matter what language you start with, to be honest. The good thing is that like the foundations in one language, the foundations of computer science, like they apply to all different languages. So you really just have to pick one, doesn't matter what. But think about it, pick one language, and then the foundations that you learn will apply to all of them. So it really doesn't matter what language you start with. So that being said, you really should only pick one language. Now, the reason I say this is that if you start learning how to code and you go, okay, I'm going to learn C++, I'm going to learn Java, and I'm going to learn Python. Wow, awesome. You're going to be garbage at 3 languages, right? Like, how do you imagine starting to learn how to code and then taking on this huge task? What you have to do is you focus on one, you really get good at one, instead of being like a jack of all trades, but master of none. Why would you do that? You just pick one language, you get really good at it, and then once you've mastered one, you can go, okay, let's learn something else, and let me get even better at programming. Now, John, how do I pick a language? I want to learn how to code. I don't know where to start. There's like 300 different languages. They're all complicated. Node.js, all these JSs and whatever C++. What do I pick? Now, what I would say to not start learning how, but like to pick a language to learn is think about what you want to do. Do you want to build an iOS app? Do you want to build a web app, like a website? Do you want to build a video game? Think about the idea that you have, the idea that you want to build, and then instead of just Googling or YouTubing how to code, you look up, let's say you want to build an iOS app. I want to build an app on iOS. So what do? You go to Google and you search up what tools do I need to build an iOS app. That's where you start. You don't just look up how to code. You look up specific things. You turn it from one big problem, which is like how to code. You turn it into a lot of little problems, and then you solve them one by one. So it'll tell you like, okay, you need to learn Swift, you need to get Xcode. There you go. There's 2 steps that you can like check out, that you can like cross out, whatever. You've already done 2 things, and then you know where to start. You look up a Swift tutorial and you start at like the beginner stages, and then you go from there. You don't just like, do something abstract, and like if you have specific goals you want to reach, it'll make it way easier to reach them. Now, if you don't know what you want to do, if you're like, John, I don't know, I don't have an app I want to do, I don't have a website I want to build, I just want to learn how to code. What do I do? Well, then, in my opinion, I think you should just learn JavaScript. There's a concept in computer science called a front end and a back end. And basically the front end is like more visual, how everything looks. It's like what the users see. And then the back end is how everything works behind the scenes. Now, JavaScript applies to both. So you're really learning one language, but you can apply it to both how things look and how things work behind the scenes. I think that's really useful. And second of all, if you're looking for a job, if you want to be a software developer, some of the most in-demand jobs right now, involve Node and React, which are both JavaScript-like frameworks. And so if that's your goal, I think if you learn those, they're super in demand, and it'll be easier to get a job if you learn JavaScript instead of like other languages. Now, another thing I want to say is that when you start learning how to code, you found your tutorial, you found your Swift tutorial, find videos that are at your level. Don't kid yourself. Don't start with the master, like, senior developer program. Start at literally zero, and just build your way up from there. It'll take some time, but really find stuff at your level. Some of the things in my life that have, really turned me off of coding is that I jumped into something way too complicated, way too quickly, and then I just got this imposter syndrome in my head where I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. I'm so stupid. I will never succeed. And that's because, I wasn't ready, and I just dived into something that I wasn't ready. You have to start off basic and work your way up. That's really important because when you're trying to learn how to code, many times you're going to be super frustrated. It's not going to make sense. It's going to be very hard to learn. And you're going to want to give up. But if you pace yourself and really work at your level, like find stuff that's at your level, you'll be less likely to reach those problems. And you'll get more confident as you work forward. Now, you also have to make sure that you actually have fun coding. I think if you're trying to build an app or something and you're having fun, you have a cool idea, I think that's ideal. Like if you're building something for yourself and you're having fun and you're interested, then it's going to be way, way easier to code. On the projects that I've worked on that I enjoyed personally, it was way easier. I was enthusiastic, I didn't like dread coding and stuff like that. So I would recommend finding something you're interested in. Maybe you and your friends have an idea and you want to code it. That's awesome. Like I would totally encourage that kind of behavior. And most importantly, when you're learning how to code, don't just watch a video, take notes, and then go to the next video. You really want to watch a video or read a book, whatever you're using to learn how to code, and then you want to actually code. Like you will never learn if you're not actually applying what you're doing. So you might as well be wasting your time if you're watching like an hour-long video and then you're like, cool, I'm done coding for the day. That's like, you watch the video, you may take some notes, and then you go to bed. Waste of time. Like honestly, like if you're not actually applying it and trying things out, playing around with it on your like computer, in my opinion, it's nowhere near as effective as like writing a couple lines and seeing what happens and then getting more comfortable. Yeah, guys, so that's basically it. I hope you've enjoyed. I really try to make these videos valuable for you guys, and yeah, have fun, and like and subscribe if you found this video like informational. Take it easy.